Here's a list of famous rappers, and today I'm gonna be DMing them to send them my beats in hopes that I can land a song and show you what's possible if you shoot your shot as a producer. I'm Ocean, a music producer, and I work with a ton of artists, with my biggest song being with Young Ads.
Rolling in the coupe, yeah, just me and my dude, yeah. He was gonna bring the Susie, don't like how it shoots, yeah.
As well as developing up and coming rappers like my younger brother, Mars. My goal is to get a ton of placements. To do that, I'm leaving no stones unturned. I'm gonna be hitting them up to work with me. All right, so here's the game plan. Here's a list of rappers I strategically came up with. Some who I think I'd work super well with my kind of style as a producer, but then some that I'm just a genuine fan of. I'm based in the UK, so it makes sense that most of the rappers on this list are from the UK as well, because then I can just invite them to pull up to the studio. And then we've got the rest across Europe and across the US. One by one, if I'm not already following them, I'm gonna follow them and slide right in them DMs. Let's go. One thing I would recommend before you start DMing people is cleaning up your profile. If a rapper clicks on your profile, they wanna see that you got musical stuff out there so they can see that you're legit and you're a real producer. I think one thing that is different from the last time that I did this, now I have the verified tick. If you don't have it already, I'd recommend just paying for it, because when someone does see the blue tick, it does cut through in the DMs a bit more. All right, the first person I'm gonna hit up is the King of the North, Bugsy Malone. I hit him up last time, but let's try again. I'm literally just gonna copy and paste it one more time and unsend the last one. That was nice and quick and easy. Next person is Fredo. I definitely feel like me and Fredo would make some sick music. Looks like I already sent him a message. I'ma just shoot the shot again. What's good, Fredo? Big fan of your music. I'm gonna try and keep these quite short and brief as well. I'm a producer in London, worked with guys like Young Ads and Chip. Would love to work. Can I send some beats? Let's go. Another person I'm gonna hit up, Ken Carson. I'm a big fan of Ken Carson's music. What's good, bro? I have some beats perfect for you. What's your email? I would love to send them over. Some of them I'm really just gonna keep short and sweet, because this guy probably gets like 10,000 DMs a minute. So I just wanna make it easy for them. If they see this, they can just copy, paste their email. Nothing too crazy. All right, I'm gonna take a big swing and hit up Santan. What's good, Dave? I'm a huge fan. Love the link up with Sench. I'm a producer in London who would love to work with you. Can I send some beats? I also have a studio in London you're welcome to pull up to anytime. Bang. All right, next up, we've got a legend in the UK, Crepton Conan, Crept. I think he's actually recorded on one of my beats before, so I'm gonna just mention that and send this to him. All right, next up on the list, let's shoot for Digga D. What's good, bro? I'm a huge fan of your music. I am a producer in London. I got a spot in, would love to work. All of the DMs have been sent. I'm gonna wait about 4 or 5 days to see if we get any responses. Hopefully we get some responses, fingers crossed, touch wood. We have some rappers that are down to work, and then in a few days time I'll come back and we'll see what the results are. But I also want to be proactive, so if I do get a response, I want to be able to just send them my beats as soon as possible. And the way I'm going to be doing that is using a very useful app called Session Studio. This app right here is built for music creators like us. It allows us to easily store all our music and share it or collaborate with other musicians. Right now I'm inside my Session Studio. I got some of my beats already uploaded, and the easiest way to send them out is to just go over to playlists and create one. So if you hit this button right here, you can choose the beats that you want to send, and then you can go ahead and title it. I'm going to go ahead and put beats for Bugsy Malone. And then once you're ready, you can go ahead and share it. I'm going to create a link, make it so all my beats are able to be downloaded, and then I can go ahead, copy and paste that link, give it to Bugsy Malone, and it makes it super easy for the artist to listen to the beats, and the ones they like, they can go ahead and download. So here's the list that I created for Bugsy Malone. You can go through and hit play. They got a player right there, and then if the artist wanted to, they can go ahead and download that. Definitely increasing my chances of my beats getting listened to and getting used. And if you don't want to share your beats anymore, you can just click here and revoke access. Personally, for me, this is like the best way to do it. I always end up using so many apps like Dropbox, WeTransfer, and it just becomes a mess trying to keep track of everything. But by using Session Studio, all my stuff is in one place. The great thing about Session Studio is free to use, and I've got a code in my description box. If you go ahead and use that at the checkout, then you'll get 3 months of the Creator Tier for free. And the Creator Tier gives you 500 gig of storage, which is a ton of music. Unlimited playlists, so that's like hundreds of playlists for artists. playlist, unlimited share links, and that ability to revoke access. So go ahead and download Session Studio today. I got a link in the description. Go ahead and click that right now. All right, my guys, it is officially 7 days later, 1 week since I sent all my DMs out. Let's just say the results are interesting. Definitely not what I expected, but let's run through them. Me going into this, my strategy with my list of rappers was to try and go after as many UK artists as possible, just because I could utilize my studio space to give them a session. It's closer to home. I make that kind of music most of the time, but let's just say that did not go to plan. In total, I sent out 66 DMs to rappers and I got a response from 12 rappers. So in total, that is about 18%, which I think is definitely quite good. The last time I did this a year ago, in that video, I got 11% conversion rate. So we've definitely increased there, which is good. So in total, I sent out about 40 DMs to rappers in the UK and I only got a response from 3 people. Really, really low, I can't lie. But surprisingly, I sent out 9 DMs to rappers in Spain and I got a response of 4. So that's like almost half. And in the US, which I'm even more surprised about, out of the 12 rappers I DM'd, I got a response from 4, which is quite high in my opinion, for sure. So let me go through and break down the responses. One thing I will say about reaching out is that you could just never ever take this personal if someone doesn't respond to you. Of course, everyone is busy in their own worlds doing their own thing. A lot of times it just comes down to timing. Honestly, you might just have caught them at the wrong time where they've completely missed it. So sometimes it is worth just reaching out again and trying again at another time. First up, we've got Carney.
You say that you need me, but I don't feel it now.
And I'm very, very excited about this one. He's an artist that I randomly found on Spotify, and every now and again Spotify will just bless you with a song that you would never have found without their algorithm. But one of his songs just randomly came up. I absolutely loved it and I thought, yeah, I definitely got to hit him up. So I slid into the DMs and I sent him some beats to his email. Kanye's definitely someone that I would love to work with. I feel like we would just make something crazy. Next up, we've got Sakar.
I found myself when I found you.
Remember the timing thing that I just said? I missed his message from a few years ago, but recently I bumped into him and I thought it would just be cool to hit him up and ask him for a session. So yeah, we got that locked in. That one's coming up. Another rapper that got back to me was Squeaks.
I'm a ginger bread man, stack dough, get bands on that stove.
I think this guy is sick. I went in and I asked for a session because I felt like that made sense. If he could pull up to the studio, we could definitely make something. I decided to target the drill scene specifically quite heavily just because I got a lot of drill beats that are unused on my hard drive. The first person I hit up was Moha the B. And I did it in Spanish because I think it just makes more sense. And I essentially just said, what's up? I'm a big fan of your music. I'd love to work. Can I send you some beats? He responded, gave me the email, and of course, I'm gonna follow up with some beats to his email. I hit up Wise Boo Boo from Spain as well, and I sent the same thing, and he sent me over his email, so passing over some beats through there. Also sent out some DMs to a few Australian artists. I think they got a sick scene that's bubbling over there. The only person that got back to me so far is A Huncho, and I basically just said I'm a big fan of his music. I'm a producer in London, but I'd love to work with him, and he dropped me his email, so I'm gonna send him a batch of beats too. So I think when it comes down to this, it's all really a numbers game. Of course, you could try and slide in Drake's DMs and you might get response. I think you're probably most likely more to get response from up and coming rappers, but with them, you could drop them some beats and really build a sound with them. But yeah, like I said before, go ahead, shoot your shot, send some DMs. You never know who will respond and where that could lead to. If you like this video, make sure you check out this one right here where I did the same thing, DMing rappers, trying to send them my beats.